to explore some of the issues around what's been happening in France, what the current situation is, and I've split the show up into three different sections, I guess. The first part is looking at the current situation in light of the historical context of France and looking at secularism, freedom of speech, exploring that a little bit. Then, we do have both Muslim and non-Muslim audiences, so I do want to spend a little bit of time after that looking at the cartoons, the imagery that's been put out there, just to explain why this is so offensive to Muslims. These are all questions that people have been asking me. Why is it so offensive to Muslims? We're going to spend a little bit of time looking at who the Prophet ﷺ was and why he's so important to us, and what not only our belief, but also our obligations to him. And then the last part of the section, part of that we're going to look at the time of the Prophet. During his time, he was attacked and abused, and how he dealt with it during his time. And then we're going to finish off with the third section, looking at solutions. How should Muslims behave towards these cartoons, the attacks, the abuses? We will touch upon the violence and the issues around terrorism and stuff like that as well, and finish off giving a clear picture of what Muslims should do. So this is the plan for today's show. Brother Hood's been talking a little bit about the history.
But even human history. So I'll try to be brief and clear, but if you have a question, please ask it. I'll try it, because I'm afraid I don't want you to be lost.
Yeah, I think the interesting point, Hood, that needs to be raised. Yeah, I think that something that needs to be pointed out, because the French are very fond of defending their laicité. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you look at the history, as you quite rightly pointed out, first of all, there's lots of things we could say about the pure hypocrisy of the situation, because laicité, it's not anyway 100% pure laicité. If you look, you still celebrate Christmas, you still have Catholic holidays, and they are officially sanctioned by the state, so it's not complete. That's the first thing. The idea that there is no involvement in and until today the French government negotiates with the Catholic Church over various things, so that's one thing. The second thing is that even historically, if we look at the whole idea of the separation, okay, you can understand, right, that the mechanisms of power and control over ordinary people was exercised through the Catholic Church, and the monarchy and the Catholic Church were hand in hand, and the Catholic Church was a tool of really oppression. Actually, even you can find this in English history. Anyway, I won't go into it because we'll get really lost. But some of the stuff you will find is madness. The Catholic Church, dispensations, and the way you had to pay. Anyway, I don't want to go into it, but some things you will not believe how the Catholic Church controlled the lives of ordinary people. So we can see through the revolution and this breaking away from monarchy, and the tie to the Catholic Church in people's minds was, these are the tools of power and control. But the irony is that, what has this got to do with Islam and Muslims? This is to do with Catholicism. This is to do with the Catholic Church. We don't have a priesthood in Islam. We don't have priests who are controlling people. We don't go to confession where you can manipulate people and find out what they're doing. And furthermore, the Muslims have no power. What power do the Muslims have? Nothing. They are the powerless ones. They are the cleaners. They are the cooks. They are the lower, most lower class of society. So the whole idea that, the whole idea of this freedom of expression, the whole point of freedom of expression is to be able to hold power to account. That's the whole point. The whole point of freedom of expression is to be able to hold power to account, to say what you like about the people in power, and to challenge them and criticize them. All right, this is the whole philosophical basis behind it. What's this got to do with Islam and Muslims? Muslims are not the people who have the power. They are not the people who have the authority.
Exactly.
So this is a misapplication. And in fact, in reality, what is going on is nothing except pure racism. That's all it is. It is pure racism and cultural imperialism, right? In fact, the only ones who should really be free to insult today are the Muslims. The Muslims should be the ones who are free to insult the people in power over them, according to these the real tradition, of laicité, So, but this is the conversation the French people don't want to have. This is what they don't want to hear, And when Macron talks about, violence in Islam and violence, it's a joke. The whole French Revolution is built on violence, the reign of terror, the guillotine, executing people. I mean, it's a joke for him to talk about. I mean, the whole French history is the history of violent, bloody revolution. And he complains about Islam being violent. I think Erdogan has got a point. I think he really, I don't know, it's not that he's mad. Obviously, he's not mad. He's just a shaitan. That's it. Either he's ignorant, he knows nothing about his own history, which I don't think that's true. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's just a nasty, vicious, racist, cultural imperialist. That's my opinion.
The thing is, you're right, that's the République discourse, the French République discourse is very hypocritical. I think the reason it is hypocritical is because I mean, there is difference between their true intention and the public narrative, the Republican narrative. When it comes to laicité, what they are saying basically is we need a neutral state. Because look, religion caused wars, caused massacres, caused repression, inquisition, and these kind of things. So we need a neutral state like that everybody can practice. But we know it was not, I mean, that was not the true intention. Like I said, we need to understand the Republican project, which is to build a new civilization, a new society, breaking all the traditional codes, including God's. And that was, I think, laicité and the Republican liberty of expression was used to actually put this project in place, and this public narrative is a lie. And we have proof, like I said, for example, when this laicity was put in place, first of all, most of the population were Catholic, so there was not truly this issue of communities being at war at each other's at the time. And as well, you may know that at the time these laws were voted, which is at the beginning of the 18th century. You had Algeria, that was a part of French territory. It was officially France, but these laws about laicity and secularism were not applied in Algeria. Why? Because Algeria was a Muslim population, and because they knew that if they were not financing the madaris,
I think we've lost him.
There's something else, bro, I want to add. Here's a comment that's been in my mind. Yeah. When Macron talks about, Islam being violent, yeah, how amazing, therefore, that he decides to shut down in France the big Islamic charities, the Islamic schools, and an organization that is standing up against Islamophobia and trying to use the social political system within France in order to establish their rights. So what choice are you leaving Muslims, right? If you don't give them the means to assert themselves and their rights through the processes that you have created in your country, yeah, through the courts and through the social services, not the social services, but through the society. What alternative are you leaving? Where are people going to go? Which direction do you think they are going to go if you don't give them those opportunities? Again, study your own history. They need to study their own history. But I think this is, it's almost like it seems to be the mentality of the French. They love to have revolutions, maybe, I don't know. I mean, and maybe just like Charles de Gaulle. So like Hood was telling us about May 68, mini revolution, yeah, where France was nearly in the state of civil war. So this is modern stuff. This is what in the last, this is in recent history. 1968. It's not a long time ago.
Well, we can
maybe this is the catharsis of French society. They have to keep going through.